Shalom Mashpaka. Welcome to my channel. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this thing down for you. Thank you for listening. Shalom. Shalom Mashpaka. Shalom, shalom. I want to say this. The names that we use today are not the names that was used in the ancient days. And what I don't understand is why so many of us think that it's progress to try to move away from what was the original onto something that we either feel conditioned to believe is more better. I want to show y'all something real quick. Let me pull it up for you. So, matter of fact, no, I'm not gonna do that today. I just talk to you then. But I do have a Bible verse that I want to read for you. Let me go in my Bible. The scripture clearly told us not to remove ancient landmarks. And that's what a lot of us have been trained to do. We move ancient landmarks. We're trying to get away from originality. Some of us is doing it for selfish reasons. We want to run with this new group ideologies and stuff that we picked up along the way, and that's understandable. But I want to get down to the nitty gritty, get to the meat of the situation, because we have a real issue that we don't see as an issue. We got a lot of movements, and I read inside of the Wisdom of Solomon that anything that is against the wisdom of Yahweh, his spirit is not there. So anybody that say they want to follow after Yah, but they rejecting the prophets, they treat the prophets like the prophets was just some metaphorical thing, like some mystical fairy tale story that was made up. And now we get inside of this right here, and people even want to discount history, asking questions like, how can they pack all these Negroes inside the ships as if people ain't being trafficked? See, the thing is, what people find it hard to believe is how massive this trafficking was. And you have to go inside of the ancient books. Matter of fact, not just that, you could go inside of the recent records. How did that temple get destroyed? How did the slave trade even happen? And some of us even denounce the reality of our history. If you feel like you don't have no historical backing for the current day, then every piece of your life is nothing more than a myth. Everything you do is worthless and vain. Like, why do people keep the commandments? What's the point of it? Because if all we gonna do is die and that's it, is after that, that's nothing, then your whole existence is vain. It's worthless. It's without meaning. Every part of your life is without meaning and is worthless. Let me show you something in a dictionary that's older than all of us, that's not getting our foots wet. Okay. And this language right here is not even the oldest language at that, but it's still older than a lot of us that's alive right now today. There's a word right there called vanity right there. It's called vanity. Vain. Counsel. Vain. Counsel. Useless advice. Vanity is useless. Uselessness. Vain. Counsel. Advice. Same. To speak. Vain talk. So, what is vanity? What is worthlessness? What is our life if we have no purpose? The function even of our bodies, like the female's anatomy and the male anatomy. If all that was created, some even deny that we was created. But you can go to the hospital and see women giving birth to children. And we know how children are made. They didn't come out of no stork mouth. I can't show you a video on how children is made on here, but we should know how children is made. We should know how seeds grow. We should know, well, not, some of us might not know, we should know where trees come from seeds. And without a seed, you ain't getting no tree. Without a seed, you ain't getting no grass. So if grass grew from nothing, and if babies and all of the people that's on earth came from nothing, then where did everything come from? People in the United States of America should know that fire destroys life. With the bombs and stuff, fire destroys life. It does not make life. So how can a big bang create life? Fire burns up life. Fire kills germs. When they put fire on a knife, fire knocks, it kills the germs that's on there. Fire will destroy good germs and bad germs. Let me go inside of this. I'm gonna go inside the Septuagint real quick. I want y'all to see something. They say we don't even study this in school no more. But this is Sergeant. He's a sergeant. He donated this book that was given to him as a gift in 1883. He signed his name on it and donated it. January the 9th. What's this book right here? And what was going on in the 1800s? The Septuagint version. So there's other versions. So just because you read something in one version and you say, well, I don't believe that. What did they get? If you have versions, then there must be an original. What happened to the original? When I was in art class and we was painting, we painted a scratch sheet. The scratch sheet was the original ideal. I learned how to, out of my scratch sheet, use the scratch sheet to create the art. So you draw what you see it in your mind, and then you start drawing it until it becomes what you see in your mind. But if people believe that you don't have a mind when they come down there to your country, then they'll stamp whatever they want to put on your culture and on your tribal history. Erasing it, what's the point of anything on earth? Even the animals preserve one another. The alligator, even the bugs, the roach, and the flies preserve who they is by being obedient. They've been keeping that same commandment that was given to them in Barashaya, be fruitful and multiply. The animals obey. But many say they don't believe that there's a creator. If you believe that we came from a germ, who put the germ there? And is you smarter than the creator, your creator? The person that know how to do electricity and the person that pay the person to do the electricity, are they smarter than the one that know how to do the electricity in the house? The one that create a television film and the one that watch it, are they smarter to know how to put together the video, to know how to put together a scene, to know how to do the lighting, to do the voice, to do the music? Are they intellectually vain? Or does their ability to create show forth a creation? So Adam is evidence of creation. The plants and everything that you see is evidence of creation. The Euphrates, the Hiddekel, the Zedekiel, the rivers, the 4 rivers that flowed out of Eden, they are evidence that we came from something. I don't understand why so many people get angry when you start talking about stuff like this right here. This is the English translation. English is not the original language, so a lot of things will be lost in translation. So this is why they had this at the college to study. There's Greek. Do people in America write with these letters? No. So in order, somebody had to study it in order to try to translate it into English. English, the way that we see it now today, is not the original way that they wrote English. The old English that we was reading and stuff in back then, and a lot of us, if we got caught reading, we'll get slaughtered in our community. That was a recent language. London, who is the people of London? Where did they come from? Where did they derive from? These are many questions that many of us have been taught to look down on and to look any further in. We say, well, what's the purpose? We all gonna live, we gonna die, and that's it. So let us live, drink, and be merry while we on earth, because when we die, ain't nothing after this. So all of you working in vain if what you say is true. All of you doing is all vanity. The animals are smarter than you. Everything is useless and vain if you believe that there's nothingness, that there was no structure, there was no order. Yiqwaba said that Anya Shakar Yah. He said, a warrior, Shakar, my flesh black. He was black, but when you look inside of modern stuff, he not painted as Shakar, he's painted as Laban, white. Everything in this modern world now deals with colors. What color you is. Whatever color you is, if you the right color, then you can have representation. Even in the scripture, all of these people were Shakar people that wrote these books. But when you look at it in nowadays, everybody is Laban. Your path already have his lots of inheritance of land, but people came down with religion and took over. That's what I want to talk about today. I don't have to go into everything, but I just want to show you. Look, abbreviations and signs used in the notes. Hebrew for Hebrew. It's HEB for Hebrew. So I want y'all to get these books, read through them. Let's learn something. Because this is not all that it is. Those who died will get up again. Because if not, why would he waste all of our time? Why would he even die? Many of us don't believe that he died. And do we believe he rose up again? Many of us think that we done got so sophisticated until we think that something came raised from the dead, but go and eat fruits and vegetables because we don't believe in eating meat, and not even realize that in order for me to get this orange, a seed had to die. There's an animal, a lizard that dies and comes back alive again. It dies and comes back alive again. Germs, they say if you freeze them, then you unfreeze it, then it come back alive again. But we don't believe in resurrection. But we believe that we came from a big bang and germs came out of fire and came alive. Or we say, well, I don't believe none of that, because anything that will give us this proper understanding of this, since I'm the big boom coon and since I'm the big boom bossa, then what I say go. I look over all of history. I will overlook all of the books that's written in every page, and I'm finna create my own thing because all we gonna do is die anyway. So what are we going to vote for if everything is vanity and nothing to it? I say even the animals have laws that they obey. Crickets make crickets because they was commanded in the beginning. Let me read this and I'm finna get up off here. The earliest version of the Old Testament scriptures, which is instant, or which we possess any certain knowledge, is the translation executed at Alexandria in the 3rd century before the Christian era. These books existed before the Cretans came down from Europe. This version has been so habitually known by the name of the Septuagint that the attempt of some learned men in modern times to introduce, see, even back then they thought their times was modern times. Time go on, but this word still remained the same. Yahweh remained the same. What he spoke in his word came to pass, whether we want to accept it, acknowledge it or not. The designation of Alexandrian version as more correct has been far from successful. The history of the origin of this translation was embellished with various fables at so early a period that it had been a work of patient critical research and later times to bring into plain sight the facts which may be regarded as well authenticated. We need not wonder that but little is known with accuracy on this subject. For with regard to the ancient versions of the scriptures in general, we possess no information whatsoever as to time or place of their execution, or by whom they were made. We simply find such versions in use at particular times, and thus we gather the fact that they must have been previously executed. If then our knowledge of the origin of the Septuagint be mergry, it is at least more extensive than that which we possess of other translations. Many of us have a modern mind translation of what we think is real. And we just go about our life wasting time without trying to figure out what we here for. Our modern translation is get up, go to work, come home, get up, go to work, come home, or go online, argue, fuss, fight, find, bicker, and do this and then the other. Go get off live, go eat, drink, do all this stuff, and then we get in our 80s and 90s. We look at this and we say, all is vanity. There is nothing on this earth that's of any value. And if you don't know, if you think that we came from nothing, you will say that everything is worthless, useless. We look at the germs and we'll think that we lower than the germ because even the germ know his purpose or its purpose is to a bad germ know to kill you by trying to survive. A dog know that his command was to be fruitful and multiply and replenish and he told Adam Yiqwaba, be fruitful and multiply. We do that, but we still deny the creator who created us. Amongst other inhabitants of Alexandria, the number of Yahweh was considerable. They knew that the number of Judeans was considerable. Where's Alexandria? That's in Africa. The number of Judeans was considerable. Many appear to have settled there even from the first founding of the city, and it became the residence of many more during the reign of the first Ptolemy. So I'm asking you, why did they burn this history right here that the Judeans had settled in Alexandria? They had a whole library out there, and if I could pull up the from Babylon to Timbuktu, you'll see it was a whole library out there as well. The Byzantine Empire was busy in themselves fighting against what they claim was Muslims. But when it come down to it, those very people that they was fighting was the ones being put on slave ships. So there was a massive war, and it seemed like to me, by looking through the lens of understanding, that the only people that came out from under them ships was the same people that's in these countries right now begging for rights. So we say they called them Muslim. A lot of them submitted to that right there because they didn't want to die. A lot of them submitted to Christianity because they didn't want to die. And a lot of them that didn't submit to neither were either hung, burnt to the stake, tortured, tormented. 17 councils was passed after 70 AD. And what happened after all those 17 councils were passed and the file was uploaded and completed? What happened? The history of these people was being erased. Well, we see the Alexandrian Empire was burnt down to the stake. Europeans came down from Rome and from France and from all different places. They had a lot of coups that was set up of slave catching tribes to fight against these people that they called the Muslims. But these people had a name. What do the name say right here? That's a modern construct. It's Yahweh. Because if we say Yahweh, he exists. Yah, he, Hawa exists, existing one. And you say Judah means he with praise Yahweh. Yahweh da. How you say praise? Da. Where you get that from? Tawa da. Thank you. Tawa da. Praise. Tawa you da. Thank you. Praise. Yahweh da. Praise. Hence, the existence of the sacred books of Yahweh would easily become known to the Greeks population. What do the Greeks do? They make you Hellenist. They Hellenize you, which means they take away your culture and try to replace it with their culture. This we get people They get inside of schools to learn how to speak more European in order to pass the classes. The earliest writers who gives an account of the Septuagint version is Aristobulus and Whydah, who lived at the commencement of the 2nd century BC. All right, let me tell you something. Josephus was Whydah, but they even draw his picture as a European person. But when you look inside of Acts chapter 13, verse 1, it said that they were called niggers. When you read inside of Jeremiah, well, it say their visage was darker than a coal. Black, dark, like the suit in Africa after the rainfall, after the drought season that our brother brought out today. So they were very dark people. Got ashy. They needed the oil to secure the ash, to anoint their legs. And these are the people who are being trafficked and put on slave ships. According to John II, that sent out the edict to capture all those Judeans. John, he dispersed them out of his country. Set up them on Sao Tome. They set up other places called Whydah. They set up another place called, this was going on during the war. Then the war of the Christians against what they called the Muslims. These were Whydah. They treated them like terrorists, didn't they? Put them on ships, make them work. John II say that we owe him money because we were there in his country as refugees. Family. I'm finna get up off here, but I just want to go over this because I was listening to Pastor Kelly and a lot of brothers and sisters bringing out a lot of things that make you think. It make you think. It make you think. Thank you for spending time with me. Every story we share here is a piece of my journey and a piece of yours too. As we continue forward, may we hold on to the lessons for the memories, the quiet truths that shape who we are. Until we meet again, take care of your spirit and keep moving with purpose. Shalom, Mashpaka. Bahasham Yahabashah.